Okay, guys, I'm going to do another one. I didn't want to make that one very long, but I have another topic that sort of surrounds the idea of dream time, and that is, our spiritual awakening. And those of us those who are still, that are awakening now, it's what's interesting. It's now this Mandela effect thing has become like really personal. Like the second wave of people who are waking up seem to be waking up more around their own personal experiences. And those people seem to be secondary to those of us who are talking to people a lot. So like, let's say people in our family, like my family, my significant other, my kids, all of them, they've had to deal with me for years, with this and that and down rabbit holes. And like, I'm definitely an odd fit in my family. I never saw things like the rest of the people in my family, or like half the people that were my friends or anything like that. Even as a kid, I would just look at adults and think, how in the world can you have something like that come out your mouth? That doesn't even make sense to me. You know how just as a kid you look at adults and think, does that person really believe that? Because it just, stuff like that. So anyway, my family is used to me and they tolerate me, and thankfully, because it's been a safe place for me just to throw a lot of ideas out. So okay, I've been talking about this Mandela thing for a while, and I was talking about things that were happening to me when I didn't even call it the Mandela effect. So then I would say to people in my family, remember when such and such and such? And I said, now it's called the Mandela effect. And they're like, yeah, Robin, yeah, okay. Well, anyhow, two things happened this past week. Now, both my significant other and my oldest daughter, they both are very open people. My son is open too, but he's on the East Coast right now, so I'm not seeing him daily, so I don't really know if he's having these similar experiences, and we just aren't talking, haven't talked about it. And my youngest daughter is definitely an indigo. She came here already telling me that her clan is mermaids, and she came here from these other dimensions. She talks about her stuff. I mean, she clear. So I put her in a whole nother category. But my oldest daughter, she's a very open, very aware young lady, and she has her areas of stuff that she believes in. And she's very open to, like, yeah, definitely, Mom, I get it. Some of the other stuff, she's like, nah, come on, no way, And so is Ken. He's the same way. Very open, very enlightened in a number of areas. And then some of the areas, he's like, why would they do it? Why would that's a common thing he says. They're just like, why would they do that, Robin? And my answer is, well, why wouldn't they? I mean, like, how can you ask me a question like that? Like, what sense does that make? But then he has areas that totally open. Okay. Two things happened in the past couple of weeks. One thing was this. So and it's hitting people in areas that are undeniable for them. And it's normally what their area of focus is. So he drinks his coffee in the morning. He likes his coffee before he heads out to work. That's his thing. That's what he's going to do. So anyway, so generally he has a particular brand he likes. He kind of monitors it. Every week he buys a new can of this kind of coffee, blah, blah, blah. So it was getting near the end of the week, and he remembered looking in the can and seeing how much was in it and saying, okay, do I have another couple of days, or should I hit the store this evening after work? That kind of thing. So he looks at the coffee, and it's like 3/4 full, right? So he's like, okay, yeah, I got plenty to get through. Okay, puts the coffee on the shelf, the same place that he always puts it. So the next morning, he gets up, goes out to make his coffee, and I hear I'm still laying down, and I hear all of the, the movement and stuff. And then I hear him come through the door, boom, Robin, where's my coffee? And I'm like, where's your coffee? I mean, he's the only one who drinks his coffee. Now, I'll normally, a few times a week, I'll have a cup from the pot that he makes, but I don't make the coffee. No one else in the house drinks this coffee. He's the coffee drinker, the end, right? So So he says to me, I don't see my coffee. I know he tells me the whole thing. He looked in it, blah, 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 3/4 full, da-da-da-da-da, all that. So I said, well, it's got to be out there. He says, I've looked everywhere. I've looked in all the closets. I've looked in the pantry. I even looked in the refrigerator, you know, no coffee. But what's even crazier, he likes to save the coffee cans. God knows he already has enough of them, because he like uses them to like to put like, you know, stuff in, like nails and stuff to organize things in the garage, or you know, that kind of thing. So he doesn't throw coffee cans away right away. Like, he'll eventually, when he realizes I have enough, he'll throw them away. But he doesn't just take an empty can and throw it right into the garage. I mean, in the garbage. That is not his pattern. So he knows it wasn't thrown away. But he even went and checked the garbage to make sure, well, maybe did I accidentally throw it away? No coffee can. So I'm like, oh, the coffee can's out there. So I get up and I look everywhere. No coffee cans. No coffee. No coffee can. It's not in this, it wasn't in the dimension that we were in that morning. And it's not come back yet. And it's funny because I've seen a few videos where this seems to be happening, with one video specifically, where this is happening with people with eggs. And my QHHT practitioner, Barbara, this has happened with her several times with eggs multiplying when she knows they were not in her refrigerator. And I remember when we were making the videos and she did the QHHT session on me, she tells me about these eggs. And I'm like, really? And I'm like, well, she says, maybe it's a Mandela thing. I'm thinking maybe it is. So that's one thing. Okay, the second thing is my daughter. So I think that that's Ken's sort of like wakening up, right? That's like, it made Mandela real for him. He's been hearing it. He agrees it wasn't no Berenstain. He agrees that it wasn't fruit, F-R-O-O-T, like all those food. He agrees to all that. But I think it still wasn't experiential for him. But now this coffee thing, and he immediately said, do you think it's the Mandela thing? Because I know that coffee can was there. My daughter, we're in the same house, but you know, I'm upstairs, she's downstairs, and she texts me and she says, Mom, when you have a raised scar, does it go away? Does it like fully, you know? And I'm like, well, it does this. I'm texting her back, well, it does this, it does that. I said, but, so she says, but it doesn't just disappear, like you won't ever, like it just, you'll always see something. I said, well, I have scars that I got when I was a kid, you know, how you fall off of fences and off of skateboards and stuff. And I said, even though they're nearly gone, you can still see where that skin has been disrupted, right? And you still see a scar. I mean, if any of you have scars in the, let's say, in the old, where the place we've come from, they never just completely went away. Even if they were nearly gone, you still saw some skin disruption. So she says to me, I said, well, why? I'm texting her. We're texting all this. And I said, why? And she said, because you remember that scar that I had on the back of my leg from when I was a kid, and we were out with the dog, and the dog chased something, and it wrapped around and the leash wrapped around my leg, and it cut my leg, and it made that sort of raised scar. And I said, yeah. She says, well, it's gone. I said, what do you mean gone? She says, it's gone. It's like it's not never been there. I'm like, oh, no, I'm sure it's something. It's on the back of your leg. Let me go. So I come upstairs to her bedroom, and I look. And I'm looking, and I remember seeing the scar, because when she walks in front of me, even just as recent as, I don't know, even a few months ago, I would see the scar. I mean, it was just like a little line that was sort of raised, right? And it was sort of blending in with the skin, and it was just a little bit lighter, too. It's gone. I looked, I stretched the skin, I looked, I got like a magnifying glass. The skin looks like it's never, ever, ever had a scar. And she's looking at me, she said, Mom, this is a little scary. And I said, why? And she says, because I've always had that scar. She says, I can't even remember, it seems like the last time I felt my leg, it was there. Like, where did it go? And so she's like, you think that's Mandela? You know, the same thing. So I'm bringing this up because those of us who are dealing with our significant others, like I think Moneybag 73, he just recently had that with his wife with the Ventnor card on Monopoly. If you go over to his, where he talks about Ventnor and Ventura, I'm with them. I remember Ventura. I don't remember Ventnor. I know there are people who do remember Ventnor, and that's cool too. But he says he thinks that it really hit his wife. Like, wow, you think this is Mandela? So I think for some reason right now we're in this wave where people are starting to, now that second phase of people who have been peripheral, who have been awakening, there's now starting to really begin to awaken more, because now they have these real experiential experiences, you know what I mean? Like these Mandela things have become real lifelike to them. It's not like an advertisement or something that happened in the past or a memory. It is now full tilt boogie. It's like right now in their life, in their world, and they know that they know that they know that this thing has just occurred. So I'd be interested to get, your guys' feedback, see where you guys are coming from with this one. Is this what's happening to you? Are you finding that your loved ones or people in your life, or this is starting to happen, or is it happening to you? Did you just have something that happened to you that's experiential? Like maybe your community has been us on YouTube, and maybe that's where some of your beginning awakening or your full awakening has been. But now you are, it was just all of the stuff you saw. And now you just had something like that happen, the eggs or the coffee or, your shampoo or something, whatever. I think it's whatever is like most important to us is where this next phase thing occurs, So anyhow, it'd be interesting to see. I'm going to sign off. So this one has definitely been focusing on the Mandela effect being made real for us. And even though I have been awake, I think I would consider it a long time, and I really was down this Mandela rabbit hole for a while, and I truly believe, I still believe that that shock for me was the one that I just put up about having met Mandela, and my ex-husband telling me and all this, and I still have no memory of it. Like that really hit me at the core. Like, whoa, this is interesting. Okay, so anyway, love and peace out, and talk to you soon.